time for American Brain and Brawn, starring John Brinkus and Lacey Evans.
I'm here.
All present and accounted for. This sounds so weird.
Wow. Kind of reminds me of like the Brady episode. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Sha-na-na-na-na. Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
No, not everybody's 50, John. Come on.
Listen, you don't have to be 50. You could be 30 and still know the Bradys.
Nope, can't. I mean, obviously I know them, but who knows that song? Like by every word you're singing.
I was playing it before the show and you were singing it.
No, I know. I made fun of you.
In your head.
We said, "Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na." That does not mean I'm singing it. I'm mocking you, John. There's a huge difference.
There's a big difference. I got it. Well, listen, everybody, welcome to American Brain and Brawn. Last week we had a little bit of a tease. We didn't know if Lacey Evans was pregnant. She was kind of like saying, "Well, I said it." So once and for all, I know most people think they know, but Lacey, do you want to tell us the answer? Are you pregnant?
I'm having a baby, y'all. It wasn't, I didn't expect it to be, right now, like as of a week ago, but women in sports entertainment, you just gotta, women in general, you never know. I don't have an office job where I can get big and get a big old belly and type away at a computer desk. Like that's just not what God put in my life. So, unfortunately I gotta kind of take it easy a little bit and not do Judy chops and belly flops and instead just run my beautiful mouth.
I think one of the big storylines that's going to happen might be called the plumping of Lacey Evans.
Oh, is that?
I mean that with all due respect, because listen, you gain weight when you're pregnant.
I mean, yeah, you gain a little bit of baby weight. And John, if you knew how big I got with my first kid, John, you wouldn't believe it.
How big? How big?
Oh man, if I would have known we were going to discuss this live, I would have sent you a photo. I got 210 pounds, John.
Wait. You got up to 210 pounds?
Yes. I was.
Oh, my God. What are you at right now?
I haven't weighed myself in a long time, actually, and I don't want to. But, I mean, I would tell you if I knew. If I had to guess, I'm like 155 maybe.
Wow. And you're like 5'8", 5'9", are you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That, well, I'll tell you what, getting up to 210, that was a bear. That was a bear.
My freaking ankles were this big and I was like, wild, But I'm not going to happen this time. Knock on wood. Everybody out there listening, give all the hearts. I need all the good vibes that I'm just going to stay like fit and jacked my whole pregnancy. No stretch marks, a banging body, and just a little baby bump.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Listen, I'm a father of two. That second go around, you expand a lot easier.
Really?
Like
all ways? Because that's a whole nother topic, honey. Like, Lord help me.
Listen to me. At least in my experience and all my friends, that second baby, you go whoop. I mean, quick. Much quicker than the first time.
Whatever. Now you're lying. You're just trying to.
Why would I lie? I'm not lying to you.
You're just trying to ruffle my beautiful feathers, honey. It's not working. Hey, Courtney, how many kids you had?
Yeah, I'm not trying to ruffle them. Absolutely not.
Courtney, help me out here. Another female on my side. How many kids have you had?
Oh,
she's had one.
I've got one.
Just one.
Because if she would have had
that's
two,
right.
Said he's a liar. You don't get bigger.
Anybody in the chat room, let me know if like during your second pregnancy, if the expansion happened more rapidly than it did the first time.
And be honest.
First time you're holding on and you're like going, no, and then it kind of just goes at the end. And the second time your body's like, whatever, dude.
What? No, John, I can't even, that's not even an option for me. Like, who are you comparing me to right now?
Listen, what I'm really excited about is that we all collectively are having this little baby. And the question is it a baby boy or girl? You're going to do most of the work, I understand. You're going to be doing a lot of the tending, but I'm going to be right there. I'm there in spirit. You know that.
Yeah, I'm
Uncle
gonna find
John.
out as soon as I can. So we'll see. I'm hoping for a boy. Obviously, I have a girl, but if it's another girl, my daughter is there's
Your daughter's awesome.
Yeah, she'll jump on a dirt bike just as fast as she'll put on a little lipstick, So
That's right. Well, so if you have a little baby boy, I want to know from the audience, do we think she's having a boy or a girl? There are, old wives' tales about like how you can tell if it's a boy or girl. Ultimately, it's kind of like just one or the other. So I want to know, do you guys think she's having a boy or a girl? Put it in the chat. And if we think it's going to be, I'm betting it's a boy.
Me too.
And I think the best name for the little boy would be Brinkus.
Look, I already get morning sickness, John. Don't make me vomit. Like I'm not. Lord help me.
Brinkus Evans. I like it.
First
I like
name
it a lot.
Brinkus. Hey,
Yes.
you know what I heard? I don't know if this is true. So anybody out there listening, if you've heard this, either agree or say something else that you have heard. But I heard that when you're having a girl, she takes the beauty out of you. So it's rough, you break out. But if you have a boy, you stay glowing. And as you can see, I don't think I've ever glowed this much in my life. I feel great. My skin looks great. I know I'm very early on, but I still have the beauty with me. So does that mean I'm having a boy?
I don't want to inflate your ego or anything, but you could take a lot of the beauty that you naturally have and you still would be beautiful.
Oh, tell me something I don't know, John. You're right. Silly me for listening to that nonsense.
Exactly. Everybody in the room is pretty much saying boy. They're all saying it with me. And they're all saying boy. And they're also agreeing with me that Brinkus is an awesome first name.
I doubt that.
Brinkus Evans.
Verify, but
Dude, nobody else, listen to me. I get called Brinkus. Nobody calls me John except you. You're like John because you want to be sort of like my mom or something. My mom didn't call me Brinkus. She called me John. My dad just called me Hey. Hey.
Why do they call you by your last name?
Because my first name is so boring. John is just such a dull name.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem to me. You don't get to choose. You can't just be like, call me by my last name because my first name sucks. You probably are the one. You probably did say that. You're probably the one in class that raised your hand and says, ma'am, will you please call me by my last name so I can have friends?
No, everybody just called me Brinkus.
Oh.
People call me Brinkus. They call me Brink. They call me something to do with Brinkus. Nobody calls me John, Johnny. This is boring. Listen, if Lacey Evans is a mom with a little boy, here's my question. How old until that little boy is throwing people out of a ring, smashing them over the head with a chair, doing all kinds of nasty stuff? I say 2. By the age of 2, that boy is contending for a title. You know what? Your son might be a WWE champion before you. I'm going to make that prediction right now.
John.
That might happen.
I guarantee if I would have got my hands on Oscar, I would be a champion as you run your mouth right now. So don't even start with me for 1. Okay.
Okay.
Don't even. And 2, off topic, but kind of on topic. Summer has been grabbing chairs and body slamming since she was 1. So not really.
Now,
It was 3.
Now you've got a lighter in your hand right now and you're what's going on with the lighter?
Okay, so I take this for when people like you run your mouth and start getting my heart rate up. And then I grab this sage right here and I just burn it a little bit when you're really starting to piss me off, John. And then I just, that's it. I just keep it calm.
You know what? I have not thought this through terribly well, but sometimes when you're pregnant, you can get irritable a bit. That's true.
been making me mad since the beginning, John.
Well, I know that, but listen, what I'm saying is that I might make you extra mad.
Probably. You're probably going to have to, hey, Courtney and Harry Bear, do we have the beep, 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 beep ready for this pregnancy? Because we're going to need it.
We are. We are. Hey, Herbert, I just want to see if you're there. Bring on the monkey.
No, why
Bring on the monkey. Bring on the monkey again.
Hey,
because a lot of people like the monkey.
No, they don't. Everybody hates the monkey. No, they don't.
They do love the monkey. And by the way, we have a giant audience tonight.
Okay,
and they're all
what are they saying? Am I
listen to me. Listen. Oh, there we go. The monkey's right there. Monkey's right by Lacey. That's right. Good monkey.
I can't see it because it's covering.
Do you want to know? So here, I want to know this from the audience. What is or was your best lullaby that you would sing to your child, or you currently sing to your child? I will share and go first, because I will tell you what the ultimate lullaby is. Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine.
All right, sing it.
Well, I'm not going to sing it, but you're going to sing
why?
it.
No, I don't.
You're going to sing it. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lullaby. It is an unbelievable. My daughter in particular loved hearing that song.
Let's hear it, John.
She's got a smile. Something like this. She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh as a bright blue sky. Lacey, you. Sky, sky. Now and then when I see her face, it takes me away to that special place. And if I stare too long, I'd probably break down and cry. Whoa, sweet child of mine. Whoa, oh, sweet love of mine. Come on!
And
that's a beautiful lullaby.
Which one? Because
it's a beautiful lullaby.
No, it's all right. It's a good one.
What do you mean it's all right? Well, let's hear you sing one, Tuffy. Let's go. Belt it out. I already sang Sweet Child of Mine.
No, one of my favorite ones to put summer to sleep was Go to Sleep Little Baby. Have you heard that from I think it's
let's hear it. By the way, everybody said, John, you are a very brave man for singing. And I think they mean that in a very positive way.
So I'd hold her like this.
Go on. That pillow is you.
It's off a movie. I think it's Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Right?
Okay.
And it'd be like,
go on.
Go to sleep, little baby. Go to sleep, little babe. You and me and the devil makes three. Don't need nobody but my baby. Like that.
I love it.
And she plays me every time, John.
I love it. I love it. Do you know what other? I'll tell you what another amazing lullaby is that we sang to our kids. Was Don't Stop Believin' by Journey.
Oh, that's too high.
That's it. It's a little high. Steve Perry gets way up there, but the lyrics are absolutely incredible. And we did not sing traditional lullabies. We sang really good lullabies like Don't Stop Believin'.
Yeah, I didn't sing traditional either.
No, you just don't do that.
I love listening to some Hetty Klein. Lord.
Yeah, you can sing a little Don't Stop Believin'.
No, I don't.
I think you got that locked and loaded, don't you?
Forte.
It's not in your forte. Why are you being such a pill? Hey, I want you to sing a lullaby and want you to entertain the audience.
No, John.
Snap to it.
They're not regular lullaby. I didn't go to sleep. I didn't sing like what is it? Hush, little baby. Like I didn't do any of that. I don't even know the words to that. Don't you?
Right. So what song did you sing?
Yeah, I'd sing Go to Sleep Little Baby, or I'd sing, damn, it's been a while, John. I got to start getting used to this.
I'm helping you right now. Jeez.
or this really old one that's from Patty Loveless. Have you ever heard Through the Back Window? Or How Can I Help You?
Okay,
No?
go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, I remember it. It goes like this. I got to get good at all this again, y'all. Why am I holding my non-existing kid right now? It goes
a pillow.
Through the back window of our 59 wagon. Fuck, I forgot the words. I watch my best friend Jamie slipping further away. I kept on waving till I couldn't see her. See, like music like that, that's really slow. Mm-hmm. And then they'd fall asleep every time.
Wow.
Better than your song, John.
Not really, because this is another lullaby I would sing. I would sing, just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah, for them to sing it, you'd wake your kid up with that nonsense, John. Lord.
Do you know what? I mean, jeez. Why? Listen, Kevin says, John, you rock. Thank you, Kevin. Listen to me. I'm not saying I have a great voice, but I sing killer lullabies. That's what I'm saying. You want to know what other lullaby I would sing? Here you go. I'm going to tell you what kind of lullabies because everybody is enjoying my singing. I want to hear some funky Dixieland. Mama gonna take me by the hand. By the hand, take me by the hand. Pretty mama gonna dance with your daddy all night long. Okay.
So you would sing that as they wake up. You know, they poop their diaper. It's time to change it. You're singing, you want to hear something. I get that, but that's not a lullaby.
That is a lullaby. You just got to sing it the right way. You got to say, I want to hear some funky Dixieland. Pretty mama gonna take me by the hand. You got to sing it like that. You got to sell it.
Lord, okay. Well, I guess it works.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, maybe. You know what? My kids are 14 and 12. I haven't been singing lullabies to them in a long time. You got to brush it. You got to brush it off.
You know what I used to wake her up with though?
What?
Ready? The sun is shining. Good morning, and we're all smiling. Good morning, good morning. Isn't that cute? And then smiling and like, oh yeah. Smelling like baby food poop. Lord help me.
Yeah. Listen, this is what I got to say. You guys got what suggestions do you have for good lullabies? And William Purdy, I'm not going to stop singing just because I can't sing.
Thank you, William.
That is not. Gosh. Listen, William Purdy says, John, stop singing. You can't sing. That is no reason for me to stop singing. I like singing.
Hey, you know, I do want to say this, that all of our guests like out there that do watch WWE, I am really, really, really going to miss, you know, the interaction after all my shows and like all my fans and all the support. Like that has been really bothering me, especially in right now, because there was so much coming ahead. And, you know, but like I said, a woman in sports entertainment, like what I got to do. But I'm going to be back better than ever. With freaking, I'm going to go from these 17-inch pythons. How many inches do you think I got? What?
I'm not allowed to answer that question. You know that.
I'm going to freaking be jacked. I'm going to come back like a freaking Amazon mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bigger
You're going to have
big old head.
2 kids on your hips coming into the ring.
Drop kicking everybody and their mama.
Drop kicking everybody. Yeah. On Monday's show, did we have any revelations about who the father could be?
I don't know. Possibly my husband, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's really, I mean, it's definitely not freaking Brinkus, John. Like, Lord help us all. name my kid.
Right. Duh.
Damn mine, honey.
All right, here's a good suggestion for a lullaby. Ooh, I actually got some support
Wait,
with
before you
Sweet
say it.
Child of Mine.
Yeah, no.
Sweet Child of Mine is like the ultimate lullaby.
I gotta feel it, John. Like as I'm holding my delicate infant.
You mean fill or feel? You got to feel it or fill it?
Don't correct me. You know exactly what the hell I was talking about. I used it correctly in a sentence. So take it from there and you make the educated decision if you are educated enough to do so.
Well, you could both fill and feel, so I needed some clarification.
Yeah, well, like I said, I used it in a correct sentence. I have to feel it. You know what I mean? So anybody out there that has good lullabies, make sure it's one that not only I can feel, John, but I can also sing. It's got to be in my pitch range, like.
For those of you speaking English, she said feel.
I don't want the do range, get me a little bit into the.
You could, Sweet Child of Mine is right in your wheelhouse. It's written in G major, D mixolydian for those of you who are guitarists. Well, I think that you should give it a try. Honestly, I'm going to convert you to singing "Sweet Child of Mine" every single night.
Remember that one band that you're like, oh my God, you don't know any of these songs? Remember that? And you were like murdering me. And then there was a lot of our American Brain and Brawn fans that were like, oh my God, she doesn't know this.
What band was that? Van Halen?
I think so. And I was like,
yeah, it was Van Halen. You're like, who's Van Halen? Eddie Van Halen passed away.
Straight, John.
I'm telling you. Tim McGraw, right? All right. Listen, Lacey, I want you to this is Inspiration Wednesday today. You are pregnant. That means that you are wired with extra knowledge. Impart some extra knowledge on us on how to be grateful for the present moment.
Oh my gosh, how to be okay. Well, that's
ready?
Easy.
Go.
Because I have been through a little bit in the last week and a half. I found out some really good news, obviously, that I am creating another human. I have realized that my daughter is about to have a sibling whom she's been begging for since NXT. So if you can imagine the mother being a mom and having a baby begging you, it's very hard. It's hard because I have to be dedicated to my job. And it just hit me. And plus I have a husband that is the most incredible man, the best father, the best husband you can imagine. And so he finds out he's having another baby and he is just tears in his eyes, happy. But then you have the other side of I've been working so hard to be a sports entertainer, to learn what to do in the ring, to be physically fit. And then when I found out, it's like half of that is immediately taken away, which really, really is hard because of how hard I've worked. So to be present and happy with what's happening right now, you just have to look at what you do have and be grateful for what you do have and find the good things in every little thing, because yes, stuff may be taken away, but it's not forever and nothing lasts forever. So just take what you have right now and make the best of it every day. And that's what I plan to do. Not only as a soon-to-be mother of two, but as, a wife and having a career, because all this does hit you. But if I just look at what I lost, if I look at, what I can't do because of my situation, there's so much positive to it. And so just it's okay to realize everything, but make sure your focus is on the good, because my life is incredible. My family is incredible. And I'm about to have two beautiful babies that I will raise and leave leave a legacy through and create good humans for this world. So I'm excited.
Right. Well, listen, William Crane, as you were talking about, just muscling your way through it. William Crane said, can I get a shout out? Because he had surgery on his foot and he's now laid up. So I think we should give a shout out to William Crane, because he is a very faithful American Brain and Brawn viewer. And
so
we love you,
Will. Literally like a crane now. He's like on one leg, like
might be. Well, hey, William, now that you've heard that you got a shout out, tell us your story a little bit.
Yeah, what happened to your foot,
jump
man?
on the show. William, go to ababshow.com, ababshow.com, and join us. Somebody just wrote William Purdy, who is a faithful Brain and Brawn viewer. He just said John is drunk.
Oh, we don't drink on this show, man. We are American Brain and Brawn. We stand for positivity, uplifting, like negative.
Yeah.
Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. He may be a little, sometimes, but that's John. That's a sober, hardworking American. He would not do that. So, William, while I normally agree with you, definitely not. Lord.
I'm not drunk, and here's why I'm not drunk. I don't drink. I mean, might be a swear, and neither does Lacey Evans. So Lacey Evans does.
You and I are both like straight edge son of a guns, aren't we?
We're just like straight living, You know who else is a straight living person? Ted Nugent.
Really?
Uncle Teddy. He doesn't drink, doesn't do it. He's straight and narrow.
That's
Goes
awesome.
out, kills some swamp donkeys, loves on his family, just easy living.
American dream. I was thinking about that today as I was putting on my beautiful makeup, which, by the way, this eyelash is barely hanging on. I was thinking about that because when you were raised, because you know my story, John, like you were raised in a tough upbringing full of addiction and depression and anger. And I was like kind of feeling like a victim a little bit. Sometimes I like think in my mind, I'm like, man, all the hell I went through, blah, blah, blah. And then I think of what the people that put me through that, all the drugs and alcohol they did, and how, it's good for me because I didn't choose that negative path and the drugs to get me through. But like, I always wonder, did I have it harder because I didn't choose the alcohol to cover the pain and the sadness? I didn't choose the drugs. So the whole time my loved ones are just like doing these terrible things. It's like, it's hurting me. It's breaking. It's literally ripping me apart from the inside in my heart. And I never once chose any Band-Aids to cover any of it, from the drugs and alcohol. So I wonder, I'm like, man, how did I even make it sober? Because I feel everything physically, mentally, emotionally. I could never just cover it up. Do you ever feel that way?
It's interesting because, so I've not had a drink. I've never smoked pot. I have not had a drink since I was 20. So I drank a little bit in high school, a little bit in college, and then I quit. And there are a lot of times where I'm like, why can't I just be moderate about it and just drink every now and then? And the answer to that is because I'm not a moderate person and I know what happened. So I just can't even start it. Now, your question, is that harder? Does that create more suffering? I think that becomes in the mind of the beholder, because there's nothing that I like less than hanging around a bunch of drunk people, right? You're sober, they're drunk. It's just not fun. Now, if you were drunk as well, maybe it's not so bad. And so maybe in that way, there's less pain and suffering. But I just remove myself when I'm like, oh man, there are gonna be a bunch of drunk people here. I'm just not into it. Everybody's free to do what they want. I'm not saying not drinking is the answer, but I'm just saying I'm not hip with hanging around a bunch of drunkies. That's just me.
Yeah. And I think, well, with me it's too, because social drinking, you're an adult, you've had a hard week, that's fine, to each his own. I think it's more like when it becomes like a lifestyle so deep that every decision you make, even throughout the work week, and is with that thought process, with and then the drugs, and you throw that in there. And I think that even people think social marijuana or all this stuff, but it becomes to a point where it starts impacting your lifestyle, your thought processes. And then before you know it, you're in this, and I've seen this firsthand by my family. It starts with just social or just trying, and then it just doesn't stop. And then it's, you need it. And then the mental and emotional side comes out if you don't have it. And then the trouble that it causes it. And it's just it seems like once you get on, it's like a ball that roll. And once you make those decisions, that's with mental health too. Either you can throw things when you get upset and not fix the problem, or sleep all day, or close the blinds and sleep longer, or you can see that there's an issue and you can get the counseling needed, or make the decision to have a better lifestyle. And I think that that's what's hard for people to do, is realize that these these choices that they are continuing to make, whether it's drug every day, alcohol every day, mental health and depression, sleeping through it and refusing to get up and wash your face and find the professional help. It just becomes a cycle that gets so deep with their lifestyle that they just can't wake up and decide one day that they're not gonna change.
You want to know what is interesting is how like mental illness and depression and people going down the wrong path really happens because you burn neural pathways in your brain and you loop the thoughts of doing things that you shouldn't be doing, the thoughts of fear and dread and negativity. Once you think them one time, it actually is easier to think about it twice, and then it's easier to think about it 3 times. And it literally is an easier pathway to go down. That's why when you say, well, turn that frown upside down and, just try to think different thoughts, it's really hard to think different thoughts. And the illustration is, think about a pianist, right? Someone who plays a piano, and they close their eyes, they play, and they're just they're zoned out. There are no muscles in your fingers, so it's not muscle memory. It's the neural pathways that are burned into your fingers that allow them to move the way that they do move. And you've done it so many times, it's really easy. That's how your brain works on just thinking. You think the same thoughts over and over and over and over and over, unless you're disciplined enough to change it up and to make sure that you're always venturing into new ground. That's why it's so important that as an individual, you're constantly in the process of changing, because otherwise you become very stagnant.
Wow. So I wonder, how do people find a discipline mentally? Like, for just the thought process alone, like, for working out, well, maybe it's the same thing. Like, you work out, you write down, what you're going to do for a workout. That heightens your chance of actually getting into the gym and doing it. But if you literally spend that same time to actually write down happy movies to watch, happy Instagram pages to follow, affirmations, make sure to meditate, make sure, maybe if you do those things just like you would working out, you would start putting yourself mentally on a better path instead of all this negativity and bad decisions. I didn't even think of it like that.
It really is. So thinking is a habit. I mean, people, when you say, judge yourself by what you do when you're alone, like when nobody is looking, what do? What kind of person are you? Are you nice to yourself? Are you kind to yourself? Do you fill your body with good things or bad things? What do you fill your head with when you're by yourself, when no one is looking? That's how you should judge yourself. When people say, judge me not by the company that I keep, you say, okay, well then what do you do when no one is looking? That's how I will judge you, and that's how you should judge yourself. We have some really interesting comments, Lacey. Zachary, I'm so sorry I can't pronounce your last name because I'm going to butcher it. But Zachary says, hey, Lacey, I'm a fan who has autism, and I was diagnosed with this when I was born. For over 10 years now, I've been learning piano. Now, That's beautiful and disciplined and healthy and something that stays with you forever. So, Zachary, keep learning piano, keep reaching new heights. That's awesome. It's really awesome. We have Sean P. I'm a Special Olympics athlete. Sean, you should go on to YouTube, type in Sports Science Special Olympics. I'm obviously a huge advocate of the Olympic Games, Special Olympics, and the Paralympics. The Paralympics are incredible, but the Special Olympics, they are, the Kennedy family has been very involved with Special Olympics over the years, and it's just been an amazing organization that has given so many people hope for the right reasons. And in a lot of ways, it really captures the human spirit even better than any other sporting event, because everyone's in it together. Everyone is rooting for everybody else. It's really a magnificent sporting event. So hats off to you for being a Special Olympics athlete.
That was my
Congratulations.
favorite in WWE prior to the pandemic. We used to always get to go out to the Special Olympics and help them out. And I mean, just seeing the mental focus that they have goes back to what we were talking about, John. Your brain, regardless of your circumstance, regardless of what situations you're in, if you can just sit back and put the same amount of time that you're putting in looking up all this Instagram people or these Instagram models or these clothing companies or everything that's in, if you would just put that aside and spend that same amount of time for like a week on yourself, starting with your brain all the way down to your feet, you would completely change your mind and your perspective and your goals and your outlook on life. It's
here's what's amazing, and Lacey can back me up on this. When people say, "How do you make it?" and they say, "What's the secret to making it?" the answer is you just do it. Like that, it sounds oversimplified, but no one in Lacey Evans' life said, "Hey, here's how you become a WWE superstar." And even when Lacey was given the shot to be a WWE superstar, it was not a given that it would work out. She had to do it and actually wake up, show up, do it, try, and see what happens. And you mentioned earlier how you said, hey, I don't sit in front of a typewriter not because that's not what you wanted to do, but because that's not what God put in your path. And this great mystery when people are like, what should I do? How do I do it? When I just say you just figure it out. You just do it. I don't know. I've made thousands of hours of TV, been in entertainment my whole life. I've never really had I honestly have never really had a job. I've just been making TV and movies and doing stuff. So I don't think that's what most people consider a job. But I had no idea what I was doing. None. And I just kind of did it and figured it out along the way. And I think that's true for everybody, whether you're a plumber or a hairdresser or a wrestler or a TV producer. You just kind of do it.
Yeah, it's just, you got it one day at a time. You have to literally, I think that's also the scariest thing. I was talking to one of my friends. She's a Marine. She's active duty right now. And she's very high ranking. She was somebody I looked up to while I was a sergeant in the military. And I could tell on her social media that she just seemed very, very down. She was very open about it. And now you're talking a master sergeant in the Marine Corps, 4 children, very successful, very strong, mentally strong. Like I said, Lacey Evans looked up to this woman while I was in the military, and and seeing her post and seeing how down she was, and just very open about it. This depression is kicking my butt. I can't get out of this funk. Just those words. So I private messaged her, and I was, I just asked her straight up, which I definitely, especially with the pandemic and depression and suicide, and it's not worth it. Make sure you ask. When you see that somebody's kind of down and out, just ask if they're okay. Oh, do we have a guest? Okay.
We do. Hey, Bill just had surgery on his foot. He wanted to get a shout out, so I told him to come on the show.
Yeah, we want to hear the story, man. You don't just wake up one day with surgery on your damn foot. What happened, honey?
So I am a competitive bowler for the PBA Central region. And
Nice.
I was bowling a PBA regional back in July of last year.
Okay.
And I tripped over my bowling bag, believe it or not, at the regional and broke my arch bone in my foot as well as the instep bone, and proceeded to finish the regional on the broken foot and finished third in the regional on a broken foot. And then my surgery got put off for basically until yesterday because I actually had a stroke on Labor Day this year as well.
Geez.
Yeah. So 2020 was not kind to me. So I'll try to flip it around here and show you guys the cast.
Oh man. Jeez.
Yeah. So what they did is they basically went in and they did a midfoot fusion with basically just reconstructing the whole foot. So I got plates and screws in my foot now.
How long are you going to be down for? 9 months?
Nope, only about 8 weeks. And by the way, the 9 months, congratulations on your baby, by the way.
Thank you.
When I saw that bit on Raw, as a fan, I was like, okay, is this storyline? Is this real life? And so immediately my friends started researching it, and they sent it to me, and they're like, dude, she really is pregnant. I'm like, Well, congrats to her. So
we're
Good on her.
happy.
Hey, Bill. Bill, I did a whole bunch of sports science segments, and one of them I did was with Sean Rash.
I know Sean personally, actually. Great
Do
guy.
you?
Yes, I know Sean. I've known him since we were 17, 18 years old.
That's awesome. You should text Sean that you're on the show and just say that just tell him I say hi. One of the things that he taught me, Lacey, I did not know this. This is what's funny to me is when people are like, "Oh, bowling, it's so easy, you just roll a ball," and I'm like, so we had Sean in and we did the whole science of bowling. Explain to our audience, because I'm not going to do it justice, how when you are an elite bowler, you're actually playing the oil on the lane to create grooves so that it messes up your opponent's ball ever so slightly, and that is a massive part of the game, are creating grooves.
What?
Well, what it is they actually, when you're bowling on a PBA pattern, a lot of the guys will play the lanes very similar to be able to open up the pattern and make them very easy for themselves. Right. And you give the best bowlers in the world 2 to 3 inches to hit in the front part of the lane or the back part of the lane, and they're going to make it look like an everyday league bowler would make league bowling look like, which is notorious for very high scores. And that's kind of what's going on down in Florida this week with the PBA Tournament of Champions. Obviously, I'm not there because I haven't won a regional yet, so I don't qualify to bowl that. And 2, I got the broken foot, so I'm stuck to my couch here in the South Bend, Indiana area to just kind of watch TV and relax. I got 8 weeks to get ready and feel better, and then it'll be back on the lanes, and hopefully I'll be back by mid-May, and hopefully everything will be okay. I'm just one day at a time at this point. I've waited 7 months for all this, so.
Yeah, well, congratulations on making third. That's wild. Sorry about the injury, but you sound in good spirits, and I'm glad people could see this, because what you were just with the stroke and with your surgery, like, that would rock a lot of people, and really, but you don't sound upset. You're paying attention. You're focusing on the good. You're focusing on the fact that it's 8 weeks when it could be God knows how long. You're focusing on the fact that you just had a stroke, but you're sitting here talking to us today. So, I love that you have that uplifting spirit, regardless of what you're going through. And we need more of this, man. You got to keep pushing, like Bill said, and like John, one day at a time.
Yeah. My whole thing is I've been competitively bowling in tournaments since I was a youth bowler, since I was 15, almost 15 years old. So I'm 37 now. So I went almost 22 years fully injury-free, major injury-free.
Wow.
So the fact that I, had an injury this year that put me on the shelf for the year, I took it in perspective that I was able to do other things with my life and look at it from an outside perspective, do certain things that I normally wouldn't do. Like I've got into reading a couple of books, which is something I very rarely do. I actually love watching Law & Order SVU, getting caught up on episodes of that. I'm collecting bowling balls. I got a ball rack in the corner of the apartment that I'm in that has 20 bowling balls on it, and I have 20 sitting on the floor in my daughter's bedroom that I already just knew they're yet to be drilled. Well, so
here's what we got. Here's what we're gonna do. This is what I'm gonna leave you with, Bill. We got to come up with a little bit of a better story than you tripped on your bag. So we need to kind of insert a tiger or a shark.
He was going for first place. It was first through third. It was the thing. He went to throw the ball. The ball would come up with something wild as it went. It wouldn't. Well, hey,
we're just here on American Brain and Brawn. We want to keep things real, and I don't believe you that you actually tripped on your bag. I'm going to give you another.
I actually.
Yeah, what happened for real?
No, I actually have witnesses to this that I actually did on my bag.
You're not taking the bait. You need to say, look, I was bowling in Africa and a lion came out of nowhere.
So if it makes you feel any better, if it makes you guys feel any better, Lacey will probably get the reference. After the regional was over and I found out my foot was broke, I got a phone call from a friend of mine down in the Indianapolis area, and I'll share this to my personal page after we're done and say to Kyle Poole, hey, buddy, this is a shout out to you. I didn't even think about this joke yet, but I had to tweet Kurt Angle after the regional and after I found out my foot was broke, because I literally said to him, I finished third in a PBA regional with a broken frickin' foot.
Yeah.
That is good.
And the funny
I
thing
like
is,
the tiger being inserted better, though.
Three years ago, and the funny thing is, 3 years ago, my daughter had tubes put in her ears, and Monday Night Raw was in Indianapolis, where I was living at the time, and she got to meet Kurt Angle and Seth Rollins. So I was with my daughter. So I got to meet Kurt Angle, somebody that I grew up watching as an Olympic wrestler, not just a WWE wrestler. Right. And then 3 years later, I break my foot, and
you
perform
pushed
at my
through just like he pushed through, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. And keep your head up, keep pushing. You are just the epitome of American brain and brawn. You're not taking it for, negative. Look at that. Lord, would you look at him? I mean, and this man has even gotten into books and different movies now, and he's broadening his, he's not just sitting there suffering and wallowing in his, he's not a victim of this. He's going to push through. And plus, John, he only has 8 weeks, so that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
He could have 9 months. You know what I'm saying?
Bill, say hi to Sean Rash for me, and we hope and join us next week. Come on, I imagine you're going to be in the same place, so we'll be back.
That's awesome.
There he is. All right. Listen, Lacey, we got to wrap this up, but here's one thing that I don't know how to tell everybody this. The room is overwhelmingly skeptical about your pregnancy.
Really?
I'm going to tell you, last week, I did not know whether or not Lacey was actually pregnant. She was kind of being coy about it. This week, I know for a fact she is pregnant. Lacey Evans is pregnant. She is pregnant from her husband. There is no hanky-panky. Look at her. All right. She is pregnant. She's not showing in any way right now.
There's a little bump right there, John. You don't see it? It's like a little.
Oh, come on. You're not showing yet.
Oh, come on. I thought I saw something.
No, not yet. But she's pregnant. All right. So listen, we are out of here. We will see you next Wednesday on another episode of American Brain and Brawn. God bless you all. It's been a great show. Lacey, you're amazing. And we thank everybody for their devout viewership, because this show does incredibly well. So God bless you all.
Nasties, keep your head up, keep pushing. Literally, I'm going to be pushing. Do you see what I did there?
Yeah.